With long-standing support from Toyota, the event has become something of an institution. National off-road events have become increasingly popular with motorsport enthusiasts, and a feature of this year's Toyota 1000 was the huge crowds that gathered along the route. Despite the early beginning to proceedings, there was a huge turnout of spectators at the start, with the Mitsubishi Pajero of Neil Woolrich and Kenny Scholthammer the first car to be flagged away. Next on the road were Pete Hosbrook and Christo Bosch in the Toyota Land Cruiser, with the Freiburg Motor Club pair among the danger men in the production vehicle field. Hosbrook and Bosch were followed by another crew falling into the danger men bracket in Cliff Wiechelt and Johan Smalberger in another Toyota Land Cruiser. The factory Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser in the hands of reigning champions Arpi Reinecker and Robin Houghton was next away, with the pair looking for their second win of the season. Out on the route, Neil Woolrich and Kenny Scholthammer had run into early problems. The pair were having trouble deciphering route markings and were meandering around the Botswana bush. It was an exercise that was costing them time, with the pair dropping down the pecking order.
Down, yeah.
Woolrich and Scholthammer weren't the only ones with early hassles. The Hosbrook-Bosch Toyota Land Cruiser had picked up a puncture, and that was also dropping them down the race order. It was a dramatic start to the Toyota 1000 Desert Race, and while Woolrich and Scholthammer battled to find their bearings, the Castrol Toyota crew of Arpi Reinecker and Robin Houghton took full advantage of the situation. The pair moved into the lead when they caught and overtook the Toyota Land Cruiser of Cliff Wiechelt and Johan Smalberger moments before reaching the river crossing. Wiechelt and Smalberger weren't taking any risks and had got off to a steady start. Behind the two Toyota Land Cruisers, the Woolrich-Scholthammer combination had got themselves back on track, but had dropped to third on the road in the production vehicle category. They had a little work to do, but couldn't have been unduly worried about the turn of events. It was still early days on one of the toughest off-road races anywhere in the world, and there was ample time to repair the early damage. Running at the front of the special vehicle field were the father and son combination of Franz Czepek Sr. and Jr. in the Epson V-Motors Chenoweth. It was a situation not unknown to the Czepeks, and behind them, rivals Greg Harvey and Boy Stone in the Castrol Jimco were on the tail of Hein Probler and Charles Volmerans in the Class D leading Nissan. After a string of non-finishes, Harvey and Stone decided a change was as good as a holiday, and were for the first time running the Jimco with a manual gearbox instead of an automatic unit.
And then cross the river somewhere. Upright by the look of it.
Working their way through the field were veterans Hannes Probler and Richard Leake in their near-standard BP Nissan hardbody, running in Class T. Behind Probler and Leake, traction out of the river crossing was proving to be more of a problem for Class B frontrunner Phil Nell in a single-seater Sandmaster. There were similar problems for one or two other competitors, but it was not until Noel and Robin Quinn arrived on the scene in their Mitsubishi Pajero that someone encountered a lone rock in the crossing that was just waiting for a victim. The rock did a good job of halting progress where the Pajero was concerned. The resultant backlog of cars at the crossing provided for some hectic entertainment for crews and spectators who sat back to watch the fun and games. Further along the route, spectators packed the surrounding areas for another interesting river crossing. For the Berthold family, drama was about to strike. Bodo Berthold and son Gary were going along well in the N&E Glass Raceco, but a few minutes down the road, their race was to come to an abrupt halt. As fate would have it, Bevan Berthold and Atang Makakaneni in the Speedstick Raceco were right behind them and broke down at exactly the same spot. For the record, it was not a happy family reunion. A combination of sand, water and mud drew droves of spectators to the first Molepalole Bridge, with another change at the front of the production vehicle category. Back at the front of the field, but only just, were Neil Woolrich and Kenny Scholthammer in the works Mitsubishi Pajero. Right on the tail of the Pajero were Cliff Wiechelt and Johan Smalberger in the Toyota Land Cruiser, with the pair going along without any fuss or bother. The first of the special vehicle entrants at the bridge was the Castrol Queen's Motor Spares Jimco of Greg Harvey and Boy Stone, with the manual gearbox working a treat for the pair. The Eastern Cape crew were looking strong and hoping to put behind them the string of non-finishers that plagued them last year and in the early part of this season. Behind the Jimco, there was huge support for Api Reinecker and Robin Houghton in the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser, with the pair having dropped off the pace a little. The atmosphere was festive, and there was plenty for locals to cheer about, with special vehicle championship leaders Shamir Variawa and Butts Carolyn going along well in the Cornbake Jimco. Behind them, Class D leaders Hein Probler and Charles Volmarans were being chased by Hannes Probler and Richard Leek. Both Nissans were running strongly, but there were problems for Class B frontrunner Marius Bodain.
Just fuel starvation, and I can't seem to find the problem. We'll get it now.
While Bodain was busy with matters mechanical, Mike Thompson and Brian Haviland arrived on the scene in a Mitsubishi Colt fitted with an automatic gearbox. The final section of the river crossing saw the pair bogged down, with the Land Rover of Paul and Anthony Schuen already stranded. The casualties were mounting, with Arthur von Swiel and Piera Antiga in the Class E Toyota Hilux forced into a detour to get through the crossing. In a departure from previous years, the quads started before the motorcycles, and the crossing was a little crowded when leader there, Brendan Bardenhorst, put in an appearance and sailed through mud, water and sand. Not far behind Bardenhorst's CJ Yamaha were Parry Dakar Rally hero Vickers van Gibbenter on the Jojo Tanks Yamaha, and Brandon Martin, who was going well on the 5-star Motors entry. The first three quads negotiated the crossing without any problems, but that ended when Mark Breckel arrived on the scene on the Brasco refrigeration Yamaha and found himself bogged down.